Ollie goes to Blagovich and wants him to start up this contract, this $50 million contract. And what they want to do is have a training camp over in Illinois and fly Iraqis over here to train them in Illinois. So Blagovich sends letters over there to Iraq inviting him to come over, and he's got the ideal spot for this training contract, this $50 million deal, and welcome him to Illinois and all this stuff. And so after he sends the letter, then they go down to Obama's Senate office in Moline and hook up with one of his staffers down there and have them writing letters, encourage him to do this contract. They worked with him for months, you know. And here's the guy that signed it sitting in jail. You know?
Let me ask you two quick questions because we're going to run out of time.
Yeah.
The first is, al-Samari is over there as the Iraqi electricity minister, and he's stealing money from the Coalition Provisional Authority, meaning the U.S. taxpayer and the Iraqi government.
Right.
Is it possible that the money from al-Samari somehow goes to Auchi, and when Auchi gives the $3.5 million loan to Rezko to buy Obama's house, the mansion, that ultimately some of that money came from Iraq? I mean, it's cash flow.
Yeah, it's just a big, big web, you know. And a year later, the bigger amount that made more headlines was when it found out that Auchi funneled another $3.5 million from foreign banks to fund Rezko's defense.
And bail, right?
Well, no, al-Samari came up with his bail.
So al-Samari paid the bail, and Auchi paid for his defense.
Right. But, you know, without telling the court. I mean, he told the court that he had families and friends and a minister helping him out with his lawyer's fees.
Now, Auchi has tried to intimidate you. Auchi, of course, is this convicted felon, as I think we know.
Right.
He's one of the 10 or 20 richest people in Britain, and his lawyer has threatened you and tried to get your articles taken down. It's as if they want to extend this crazy British system into the United States. Can you just comment on that?
Yes. Well, actually, you know, he didn't contact me, and that's what made me the maddest, because I got contacted from some other websites. So I finally wrote him a letter, and I told him it had been brought to my attention that he was contacting sites that publish my work and threatening to sue him, trying to intimidate him, and threatening to sue him for defamation. And I informed him that I would welcome a lawsuit from his client over here in this country filed against me for defamation because I had printed the truth, and that, but as he and I both know, his client's not allowed in this country, so that is not going to happen. So his threats like that were just illegal attempts to intimidate an American journalist, and I wanted him to knock it off, that he was interfering with my business relationships and my right to free speech. And I told him that if he didn't, I wanted him to cease immediately these tactics, intimidating tactics, and if he didn't, I was going to contact the Justice Department to find out how I could put a stop to this. And I never heard back from him. But I did send out that email, a complete copy for publication on the Internet.
Right, which is on the Internet, and I've seen it. And congratulations to you for your courage in standing up for in favor of the First Amendment against this rich British plutocrat and shady figure who's trying to project the British, libel law, I guess, and suppression of free speech into the U.S. Now, just a couple of words now about the Combine. You quote former U.S. Senator Peter Fitzgerald, I think, a Republican, rich guy who got elected, talking about the Illinois Combine. What is it?
Okay. It's where both political parties are making so much money, members from both parties are making so much money ripping off the taxpayers, through all these scams like we're being run in Illinois, that they work together. It's called a combine. They don't care which one's in power because they all got their hands in the till and they don't really care which one wins.
Okay, thank you, Evelyn Pringle. The music tells us that our time is up. It's another episode here of World Crisis Radio. I want to thank Evelyn Pringle. She's a very courageous investigative journalist based out of Wisconsin. Her work is on Op-Ed News, Scoop of New Zealand, Rezko Watch. She is the go-to authority on this entire cesspool of graft and corruption in Chicago. We'll be back next week. Thank you very much for listening in.